These signboards displaying station names in Hindi, Kannada and English at the Nama Metro Station across Bengaluru have sparked the Rashtrabhasha debate again. Pro-Kannada activists and several prominent citizens are protesting the usage of Hindi in the signboards. Pro-Kannada activists have given the government a 7-day ultimatum to remove Hindi from these signboards.
ನಾವು ಮೊದಲಿನಿಂದಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಹಿಂದಿಯನ್ನು ಬಲವಂತವಾಗಿ ರಾಜ್ಯಗಳ ಮೇಲೆ ಹೇರೋದ್ರ ವಿರುದ್ಧವಾಗೇ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಯಾಕೆಂತಂತಂದರೆ ನಮ್ಮದು ಬಹುತ್ವಗಳ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರ, ಬಹುಭಾಷಿಗಳ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರ. ಸಂವಿಧಾನದಲ್ಲೇನೇ ಅಂಗೀಕೃತವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ 22 ಭಾಷೆಗಳಿವೆ. ಈ 22 ಭಾಷೆಗಳು ಕೂಡ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರಭಾಷೆಗಳು, ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರಭಾಷೆ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಹೀಗಿರುವಾಗ ಒಂದು ಭಾಷೆಯನ್ನು ಒಂದು ರೀತಿ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರಭಾಷೆ ಅನ್ನುವ ಭಾವನೆಯೊಳಗೇನೇ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಾಂತಗಳ ಮೇಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಬಲವಂತವಾಗಿ ಹೇರೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗೋದಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ಸಂವಿಧಾನ ವಿರೋಧಿ ನಡೆ, ಒಕ್ಕೂಟ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆಗೆ ಧಕ್ಕೆ ಉಂಟು ಮಾಡುವಂಥ ತಪ್ಪು ಹೆಜ್ಜೆ.
However, metro authorities remain non-committal. So on the urban debate, we ask, what is more important, effective communication or regional pride? Mirror Now report. Well, it's a simple conversation here tonight in the urban debate on Mirror Now. I'm Faye D'Souza. We're asking simply this. In Bangalore, there is an uproar right now not to use any sort of Hindi signage at all on the new metro signs. Remember, the signage already has Kannada, which is the state language, English, which is a language widely spoken, and the third language on the board is Hindi. The linguistic chauvinists in Karnataka have turned around and said using Hindi on those boards in some way insults the linguistic integrity of the state, and they want Hindi removed. Our point is simply this. In the general interest of getting as many people to understand what you've written on the board and have access to your public transport, doesn't it make sense for us to open up our doors to everyone? Also, like Bangalore, like Mumbai, like Chennai, Hyderabad, Pune and Delhi, where people from all over the country come to live and to work, doesn't it make sense to make these cities as open and as cosmopolitan as possible, thereby allowing as many people to live comfortably in these cities? How can we currently actually shut our doors off to each other simply on basis of language? That's the question we're asking this evening. And like always, our show is respectful of all opinions and our phone lines are open. We want to hear both sides of the story, so please pick up the phone and call us irrespective of whether you agree or disagree. We want to hear from you. Joining me on the show this evening, Nagaraj Yadav, spokesperson of the Congress party in Karnataka and the government of the day. Yogesh Verma, spokesperson of the BJP. Danish Sait is a radio jockey and a comedian and a writer who will join us through the course of this conversation. Amrita Joshi is a polyglot and a linguist, and she'll bring in a very interesting view on all of this. Rajshekharan is an advocate who joins us from Chennai and a state that has similar arguments also when it comes to language. Purushottam Agarwal is a writer and a novelist. I welcome all of you to this conversation. I'm going to start with Mr. Nagaraj Yadav. Mr. Nagaraj Yadav, where does the Karnataka government stand on this decision right now? Because as it stands today, the signage in the metro in Bangalore or in Bengaluru have all 3 languages. Does the Karnataka government plan to take one language down? What does the Karnataka government feel about this protest?
The Karnataka government is very clear on its issues that the priority is for Kannada local language because this country is completely built on the basis of a federal system as per our constitution. We are not against any language as such. The priority should be given to Kannada. The English is a locally spoken in a metro city like Bangalore. We welcome that also. The Hindi also can be there, but the way of implementing Hindi is a question mark now. But here the because the state is completely divided on language issues and on a federal system, the priority, the people of the Karnataka wants to demand to have Kannada and English as a subject. That is more than enough, because the people in Bangalore who doesn't speak much of Hindi, it's basically English and Kannada is the priority. That's how this has come. But as a Congress person, I want to say, on behalf of the government, we say that we are not against Hindi as a government, but we want to see that the government of India also understands that every state language should be given a priority, and that should be upheld because the federal system of the country and to keep the country united. And indirectly trying to bring Hindi and trying to impose it to the people of Bangalore is also not acceptable.
How is it being imposed on the people of Bangalore? And first of all, my first question to you, which you have not answered, is we know that there is representation that has been placed before the government right now by these various groups asking for the Hindi signage to be removed. What is the government's stance on that? Will the Hindi signage be removed?
No, the groups, the Kannada activist groups are strongly protesting against this. Is that because it's a government, Mr. Narendra Modi's plan to get the Hindi all over the country as a national language. That is their plan. But if you want to bring Hindi also as a language, a national language, you want to make the people understand the language Hindi also, we have no objection for it. There's a way of doing things. You cannot just implement in these projects and say that Hindi also has been put there, like you as it has been done in Delhi, anywhere where more number of Hindi speaking people are there, you can accept it. But here people ask is only one thing: why do you use the space? You can use it more bigger size for Kannada language, because most of Kannada people travel around here, and English is a language we normally don't oppose at all. Implementing the Hindi language on Kannadigas, having a political agenda with him, he is opposed to the people of Kannadiga. That's all the issue is there.
I don't understand. You're not answering my question, Nagaraj Yadav. I'm going to ask you one more time. First of all, whose decision was it right now to put the signage on the metro? Someone must have made a decision.
It is Metro's decision, Government of India's.
Government of India. So this was purely a Government of India decision. The Government of Karnataka had absolutely no say in the signage that has gone up on the Bangalore Metro.
Definitely they have not consulted on this matter. They used it as saying that Kannada is the state language and English is a common spoken language and Hindi as a national language. They have taken into consideration and they have done it. But as a congressman, I am not having any objection to it. There is many number of people in Bangalore, in Karnataka, they feel somewhere the government of India always try to impose Hindi on language, which is questioned today. But as a congressman, I respect the country's integrity and language. I have no objection to it. So, but the people of Bangalore, the Kannada activists are saying that this is one way of Mr. Modi trying to implement.
Nagaraj Yadav, you're giving me mixed answers. Do you agree with the Kannada activists? Do you agree with the Kannada activists who say that Hindi should be taken off the boards?
Of course.
You do.
It is to one extent. It is good. They are demanding for their local language. We believe in a federal system of this country.
Okay, so Nagaraj Yadav on record believes that Hindi should be taken off the board. Danish Sait joins us right now. He's a writer and a comedian.
I don't say that. But
you
there's
just
a way
did.
to implement this thing. You cannot force things on the people.
No, but who's forcing?
I'm not against Hindi. Please be corrected. I'm not saying it.
No, but so Nagaraj Yadav, I don't understand who's forcing anything right now.
Get Hindi language. No, I'm not totally against. See, I belong to a Congress party where we represent the entire country. Please do not think that the Congress people and Congress spokesperson is against Hindi. Don't think that way. We have to respect the sentiments of Kannadigas, please.
So who's disrespecting the sentiments of Kannadigas? Please, I still haven't understood how are the sentiments being disrespected at this point? How is the language of Kannada being disrespected at this point? Please explain to me.
No, now the metro, I'll ask one thing. Now the issue comes here. The metro is for the people of Bangalore. What is the language of Bangalore? What is that we wanted? Ultimately, the people have to understand the language to use where they want to go from which place to which place.
Yes.
How does the language of Hindi comes in place?
No, okay, so I'm looking at visuals of the signage right now. It says very clearly the first language listed is Kannada, after which is English. The third language is Hindi. So anyone who understands any of these three languages should be able to go where they need to go, because their three languages are very clearly listed on the boards. I don't understand how listing of Hindi as the third language in any way impedes the understanding of the first language, which is Kannada.
No, I understand people. No, I want to correct want to get you corrected, madam. People coming all over the country, when they come to Bangalore, metropolitan city, we accept it. But they should also learn the language Kannada. English is a common language, everybody knows about it. What is wrong in they learning Kannada and using it? Why are they saying Hindi? Why they want to keep Hindi? You don't want Hindi people who come from other states to learn Kannada? You don't want people to learn Kannada. When I go to Delhi, I would like to speak in Hindi. What is wrong? If I go to Andhra Pradesh, I would like to talk Telugu. When I go to Tamil Nadu, I would like to talk Tamil. When they come to Karnataka, why not the people talk Kannada also?
Okay. So one assumes learning Kannada, which is always a beautiful thing to learn a new language, will take longer than when I have to get on the train and get off the train, which is a fairly limited amount of time, and one cannot learn a language before that. Danish Sait, radio jockey and comedian and a citizen of the great city of Bengaluru. Danish, where do you stand? Do you believe that the Hindi signage should be taken off? Are the people of Bangalore offended by the Hindi signage?
Yeah, it's not offended as such. You should
well, to begin with, I'm not offended. You can't be offended by a language which is on a display board. I think we're all much mature than that. I think the problem lies with the fact that there is this whole north-south divide which exists, right? That is the underlying truth. Now that we're here, the south has its own languages and Karnataka as a state has Kannada. Now, I just have an example to give you, Faye. I was listening to your ad. It was a Mirror Now ad on a radio station that said, Namaskara, Nanu Nim Faye D'Souza. There's obviously a reason, because I think there is an affinity that you build. And I just think that Hindi being implemented in a metro is a little flawed. Why? Because we've had KSRTC and BMTC buses running for the longest time. Right? People have been finding their way. Like the average cab driver in Bengaluru will speak 4-5 languages. Speaking versus visually just putting something there because you have to put it, I think that's where the problem lies. Because I took a metro the other day. The Hindi signage is all over the station, but the moment you get into the train, it's in English and Kannada. So now, my assumption is a Hindi guy gets into the train. Say a guy who reads Hindi gets into the train. Then what happens? Does he stay there forever, or does he ever get off the train? If he does get off the train, does he ask someone? How does that work? So I just think that people saying English and Kannada are enough, it's a very logical stand. And like what Sir said, saying if I go to Tamil Nadu, I'd like to speak in Tamil. In Andhra, I'd like to speak in, Telugu. It's a life skill. Learning a language is just a life skill. And of course, having said that, I think linguistic abilities don't, come naturally to everyone. Some people end up learning it. Some people find it difficult because of their surroundings and how they've been brought up.
In fact, so my simple rebut to what both Nagaraj Yadav and Yogi and Danish Sait are saying is that if you write things in 3 languages, and if I read it in in the language I know, and then I'm looking at the language I don't know, it makes it easier for me to understand the language I don't know. It might be a way to teach people who know Hindi, teach them Kannada. And I want to take this question, to Amrita. Amrita is a linguist. Amrita, what is the easiest way to teach somebody a language? And does it really make sense at this point to expect someone to learn a language before they get to use the metro? I mean, at the end of the day, public transport should be accessible even to your German tourists who come to Bangalore. Absolutely. You can't make it.
The metro goes between like some 7-8 areas, whereas the buses go all over the city, right?
So you should make it as inclusive as possible. All right, Amrita, let me bring Amrita Joshi in. Amrita Joshi, go ahead.
Okay. So
on those routes, it's okay, but otherwise.
Firstly, I would like to say that imposing certain language, well, I would say English was also imposed on us a few years back. A lot of years back.
Yes.
So we are still keeping English. So we are keeping English for the foreign visitors. Then why not one more language? I mean, I don't see any harm adding one more language causing there, or it's not disrespecting anyone. Another thing I would like to say is, apart from this issue,
we don't speak English for foreign
learning
visitors.
A language,
we speak English so we can go to foreign and not be visitors.
Learning a foreign language, or learning an Indian language, or learning a language is not everyone's cup of tea. But again, at the same time, being a polyglot myself, I used to always very proudly, very happily tell everyone across the globe that we Indians are born polyglots, because we as Indians, as toddlers, are introduced to our mother tongue, later to our state language, our neighbors and friends, we end up speaking with them a couple of more languages. We learn English, we learn classical languages like Sanskrit, and we learn a foreign language.
Yeah.
So we cannot ignore the fact that we have that skill, we possess the skill of learning languages. Then why restrict ourselves is my question.
You know, I also want to tell Danish Sait that I didn't just put out a radio ad for Mirror Now in Kannada. I also did one in Tamil and in Hindi and in English, because people in Bangalore specifically learn to speak at least 4 languages.
And that's exactly what the gentleman said, Mr. Nagaraj
Yadav. Yes.
Yeah, and that's what I said, right? It's okay to be where you are in the native form, because as it is, there is such an unrest going on. This Hindi thing is just going to spark a fire, douse it. It's okay because things have been going on in English and Kannada.
I think there are these 2 languages. One is a common man's language.
मुझे तो ऐसा लग रहा है.
One is a political
language. Let me bring in Yogesh Verma. Yogesh Verma from the BJP. Go ahead.
मुझे तो बहुत अजीब लग रहा है. मैं तो देख रहा हूँ, जो आंखों से दिख रहा है कि वहाँ की जो लोकल लैंग्वेज है वो काफ़ी बड़े अक्षरों में लिखी गई है. उसके नीचे इंग्लिश लिखी है. जो अंग्रेजों के विरुद्ध पूरे देश ने आंदोलन करके जिन अंग्रेजों को भगाया, हमको ऐसी लैंग्वेज पसंद है, हमको ऐसी लैंग्वेज का प्रचलन करने का हम सर्टिफाई कर रहे हैं, और जो देशभक्तों की लैंग्वेज हिंदी है उसका हम विरोध कर रहे हैं. देश को एक करने के लिए कोई ना कोई एक भाषा की आवश्यकता है.
नहीं सर,
जिससे देश एक हो जाए.
तमिल में भी हुई थी,
कन्नड़ा भाषा जो है, कन्नड़ा भाषा बहुत रिस्पेक्टेबल भाषा है. और मुझे सिर्फ कर्नाटक में वहीं पे आपका जो होम टाउन है वहीं नहीं बोलनी चाहिए, पूरे देश के लोगों को सीखना चाहिए. ये एक अच्छी बात है. ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट लैंग्वेज है, इसका बहुत बड़ा हिस्टोरिकल महत्व है, और ये महत्वपूर्ण बहुत ही शानदार लैंग्वेज है. लेकिन इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि आप इंग्लिश के सामने जिन अंग्रेजों को हमने
अब तक कोई ऑफिशियल नेशनल लैंग्वेज नहीं है. ऑफिशियल लैंग्वेज शायद हिंदी है, यूनियन गवर्नमेंट की, बट
आपकी उस लैंग्वेज को आप सर पे लेके घूमो और आप हिंदी का इस प्रकार से और अनादर करो. ये तो हजारों अंग्रेजों के क्रांतिकारियों का अनादर है, जिसने इस देश के लिए अपनी जान दी.
यहाँ से भी लोग थे सर,
जिसने इस देश के लिए अपनी जान ली. आपको इंग्लिश चलता है लेकिन आपको हिंदी का विरोध है.
ये तो आपका मतलब यहाँ पे किसी ने जान नहीं दी क्या?
ये तो
कर्नाटक या फिर तमिलनाडु या फिर आंध्र में
तिरंगे झंडे का विरोध करेंगे,
तेलंगाना में. और
आपके जो करीब में माननीय कांग्रेसी व्यक्ति बैठे, उनको तो समझ में ही नहीं आ रहा है कि वो विरोध करें कि उनका साथ
नहीं. यार
क्योंकि नरेंद्र मोदी जी, उनका जो तर्क है कि नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने मेट्रो चालू की.
नहीं सर, विरोध की बात नहीं है. आप जो बात कर रहे हैं अभी
गलत बात है. मुझे लगता है ये क्रांतिकारियों का अपमान है, देशभक्तों का अपमान है. इस देश में 80% हिंदी बोलने वाली जनसंख्या है, समझने वाली जनसंख्या है, उसका अपमान है. मेरा
80% तो नहीं है. एक मिनट. Okay, so I have a stand on this show. Yogesh Verma, one second. Yogesh Verma said 80%, which for the benefit of the people who don't understand Hindi is 80%. Let me point out to you.
No, so you mean to say there were no freedom fighters from Karnataka?
आप शांत हो जाइए. एक मिनट. Yogesh Verma, 50%, 53% is the number of people who speak.
भाषा के लोग बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है. कन्नड़ भाषा बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है, उसका एक हिस्टोरिकल महत्व है, और उसको पूरे देश को सीखना चाहिए. उसको पूरे देश को सीखना चाहिए.
Okay, all right.
लेकिन आप एक विदेशी भाषा को एक्सेप्ट करेंगे और देश की भाषा का विरोध करेंगे.
So Danish, it seems like Yogesh Verma is not opposed in any way. He's not arguing about Kannada. He's arguing about English. He's saying if you're okay with English, why are you not okay with Hindi? That is the point that he's making. I just want to correct one statistic that came out. According to the 2001 census, which is the last list of numbers we have, Hindi language spoken and understood, first language, second language, third language, total adds up to 53% of the country, which is the highest. So it is among Indians the lowest common denominator. It's the one language that everybody understands. I want to bring in the other voices as well. I want to bring in Mr. Purushottam Agarwal. And my submission is this. Let's make a board and put 10 languages on it so that as many people can understand it as possible. Why restrict? I mean, I'm not saying take one down. I'm saying put more on. So write in Tamil, write in Telugu, write in Oriya, so as many people can understand how to take the metro.
मतलब ये होगा कि कोई हिंदी भाषी उसने गूंगा बन के घूमना चाहिए वहाँ.
Let's Purushottam Agarwal hasn't spoken yet. Mr. Purushottam Agarwal, and then see Rajshekharan is also listening. Purushottam Agarwal, go ahead, sir.
We won't have place for trains. We have so many modes.
Excuse me, sir. May I?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
As a Hindi-speaking citizen of this country, I feel sad for my language, which has been made a kind of football of a political game. And unfortunately, the language which was seen as a unifying language during the freedom movement has been reduced to a language which is seen with suspicion by non-Hindi speaking people. Now the problem lies with the approach. Now, for example, the gentleman just now said that Hindi is the language of Deshbhakti. I mean, rightly so, but so are the other languages. I mean, it's not that only the Hindi speakers sacrificed for the country. All languages, their speakers sacrificed for the country. Let me also remind
उनको बोलने दीजिए, योगेश वर्मा उनको बोलने दीजिए,
the most logical support for Hindi to be declared not as national language.
योगेश वर्मा उनको बोलने दीजिए, हमें सुनाई नहीं दे रहा है, उनको बोलने
dीजिए. From non-Hindi speaking people. So this is basically a question of trust. Now we are living in a constant atmosphere of fear and distrust, and unfortunately when you come with Hindi or Hindi signage in a certain context and then you defend it in a way which is factually wrong, which also gives a wrong message that those who do not speak Hindi are less Indian than others, then there is the problem.
Sir, this
and
is
therefore I feel sad as a Hindi speaking citizen of this country that my language is being
justify करने के लिए और किसी के शब्दों को तोड़ मरोड़ कर रहे हैं.
सर जी अभी आपने कहा था 80%.
अगर ब्रिटिश के जमाने में होते तो आप तो अंग्रेजों का साथ देते.
सर आपने जो
जी नहीं,
मतलब ये हो गया
let me just do this 1 second. एक मिनट.
आप हिंदी का विरोध कर रहे हैं, अंग्रेजी को आप जस्टिफाई कर रहे हैं. अंग्रेजी को जस्टिफाई कर रहे हैं.
योगेश वर्मा, let me answer your question. Let me answer your questions as I take it to see Rajshekharan, who's also a lawyer. Article 343.
Let me finish.
Section 1. 1 second, sir. Article 343, Section 1 of the Constitution states.
Just a minute.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
Complete.
Okay, go ahead.
Article 342 states that Hindi will be the official language of Union. Hindi written in Devanagari script will be the official language of the Union. Article 342, the Indian Constitution, does not list any language as national language, as the national language.
Union
which implicitly
national language होता है.
No, just a minute, sir.
आप अपने हिसाब से
Union government का language. योगेश वर्मा, आप सुन नहीं रहे.
अगर आप सुनेंगे नहीं,
हिंदी कहाँ से आई है? बनेगी. मुझे एक बात बताइए, हिंदी आई कहाँ से है? ये देश की लैंग्वेज है कि नहीं है?
According to the Constitution, according to the Constitution,
विरोध कर सकते हैं.
योगेश वर्मा, आप शांत हो जाइए. I think, one second. योगेश वर्मा जी, I just want to remind you that अगर आप शांति से बात नहीं करेंगे, तो हम एक दूसरे को समझने नहीं पाएंगे. First of all, we are speaking different languages, and if we don't calm down, we're never going to be able to understand each other in this country.
In fact, this is precisely the attitude which has hurt my language.
Sharma says something,
this is precisely the attitude which has hurt my language. Please, just a minute. This is the attitude which has hurt my language, which has created distrust. Otherwise, in Constituent Assembly, Hindi as an official language of Union was defended by Iyengar. It was defended by Syama Prasad Mukherjee. It was defended by many people whose mother tongue was not Hindi. But this is the attitude of people like you. And you were talking of British Raj. I know who supported Britishers, and everybody knows. Everybody who has read the Indian history knows that who was standing where. So far as the British rule is concerned.
आप इंग्लिश को डिफेंड करके, आप इंग्लिश को डिफेंड कर रहे हैं ना? आप हिंदी के सामने इंग्लिश को डिफेंड कर रहे हैं.
योगेश वर्मा is not defending. योगेश वर्मा, आप सुन नहीं रहे. योगेश वर्मा,
भाषा को नहीं है. मेरा विरोध है. आपने
योगेश वर्मा,
और ज्यादा प्रचारित देश के हर कोने में प्रचारित कीजिए. देश के हर बच्चे को कन्नड़ भाषा समझनी चाहिए, सीखनी चाहिए, बोलनी चाहिए. मैं इस मत का हूँ. आपको इस मेरे मत से विरोध है क्या? मेरा ऐसा मानना है, देश के हर बच्चे को कन्नड़ भाषा सीखनी चाहिए.
कोई विरोध नहीं है.
आपको इस बात से, मेरे बात से विरोध है?
One second. I think this is 1 second, Mr. Yogesh Verma, calm down. I think this is symptomatic. This is symptomatic, Mr. Agarwal and Mr. Verma, of the problem that we are having in this country. You are both saying the same thing. thing and disagreeing with each other vehemently. So you should both, because you're not listening, Miss. You're not listening. That's not the point. That's not the point that Mr. Verma was, that Mr. Agarwal was making. One second, everybody calm down. Let me just read this out.
Communication, but look at the amount of miscommunication that exists.
Let everybody just calm down. Let me read out the only piece of paper that matters. Article 343 of the Constitution of India states, the official language of the Union government shall be Hindi and Devanagari script. It says government very clearly. Unless Parliament decided otherwise, the use of English for official purposes was to cease in 15 years after the Constitution came into effect. Now, Parliament has not decided otherwise, and that decision has not come. So, technically, the official language for the government remains Hindi, and English continues to be used for convenience. Let me bring in now C. Rajshekharan, who's been listening very calmly, carefully. He's an advocate who joins us from Chennai. Let's remember that the metro in Chennai has only 2 languages on it, which is English and Tamil. Actually, Tamil first and English second. There is no Hindi in the metro in Chennai. C. Rajshekharan, go ahead.
See, we are in the most vibrant people's democracy. In a people's democracy, the government has to live up to the expectations of the people of the respective state. See, we cannot impose something. I am not against Hindi. I am not against the central BJP government, or I am not against anybody.
Yeah.
But let us be fair. See, you can introduce whatever you want, but the people of that respective states should welcome it, should accept it, and you should ensure everybody is happy. That is called good governance. Achhe din. See, we are living in a digital era. Let's not go back to the British Raj, or the English language was with the British, and we are following all these are. I don't buy this argument because it's very stale and not acceptable. See, we are now in a new generation. The younger generation vote bank has increased more than 50%, and we have got voters at the age of 18. Let us be fair. Let us think broad-minded. Let us live up to the expectations of the new generation. Let us not impose something when the people of that state
you will accept
don't
the
want.
English and you will kick out the Hindi because you are new generation. Because you are new generation, you are keeping your mother and father with you, or you are letting them out because you are now modern, you are now learned.
Which is being
what
you have to accept. That is not the point. It is a welcome move.
आप क्या बोल रहे हैं? आप अंग्रेजों को वेलकम कर रहे हो, मतलब आपने तो ब्रिटेन चला जाना चाहिए और बाकी क्वीन को यहाँ से वेलकम करके लाना चाहिए। तो अभी तो हम नई जनरेशन आ गए, वो पुरानी जनरेशन ने आपको भगाया। इसका मतलब तो ऐसा हो गया।
So let me bring in voices. Let me bring in voices right now. People are calling us, and I just want to, there's a reason why we brought this up. Mr. Nagaraj Yadav, I'm going to come to you to respond, but there's a reason why we brought this up today. Because in any of our big cities, whether that's Hyderabad or Chennai or Bangalore or Delhi or Pune or Mumbai, there are people who come from across the country to live here and work here.
You should give the right for learning, right to know the language.
What right to know the language? What right to know the language? You are opposing Hindi?
How does it say
So what you are
Gentlemen, if you all shout at the same time, nobody can understand you. Nobody can understand you.
स्वतंत्रता सेनानियों का जो स्वतंत्रता में जिन्होंने अपना खून दिया, जिन्होंने देश को एक किया, ये उसका अपमान है। आप देश की किसी भी भाषा का विरोध करेंगे ये उसका अपमान है। विदेशी भाषा के सामने
योगेश वर्मा, क्या आपने रिसर्च किया है कि बैंगलोर में या कर्नाटक में कितने लोगों ने देश के लिए अपना जान दिया है? क्या आपने रिसर्च किया है?
आप मेरी बात को बार-बार अलग डायरेक्शन पे लेके जाते हैं।
क्या आपने रिसर्च किया है कि कूर्ग जो कर्नाटका में है, कूर्ग के कितने लोग आर्मी में हैं, आपको मालूम है?
के सामने हिंदी का विरोध क्यों होना चाहिए? क्यों होना चाहिए?
If somebody don't want to give the choice,
क्या हिंदी भाषा के लोग आपके अनुसार क्या साउथ में नहीं जाते?
See, I cannot understand.
क्या नॉर्थ में नहीं जाते?
अच्छा, एक मिनट, आप दूसरों को बोलने दीजिए ना। योगेश वर्मा, आप सवाल पूछे जा रहे हैं लेकिन किसी को जवाब देने की आप चांस ही नहीं दे रहे। दूसरों को बोलने तो दीजिए। एक मिनट, just 1 second. Mohammed Shiraz is on the phone line from Bengaluru right now. Mohammed, you've held on for a very long time. Go ahead, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, Pai, thank you for this. First of all, I have a message for the politicians on the panel.
Yes.
Just don't divide the country on the basis of language, food, the clothes we are wearing, don't divide the country. Already half of the country is on fire. The second thing...
You can't tell that the country is a federal system. There is number of languages available.
Let him speak. Let him speak. Let him speak. Nagaraj Yadav, I'll give you a chance to respond to him. Let him speak, please. Nagaraj Yadav, let him speak.
Why don't you understand, Mr. Swain?
Let him speak. Please finish your point. Please finish your point.
You do not say that we are dividing the country. We respect the country.
You know, you will listen to him when he speaks to you, Nagaraj Yadav. He is a voting citizen of your city. Do you not understand what votes mean?
Listen to him.
Listen to him, Nagaraj Yadav. He's a citizen.
To me.
Yes,
Sir,
go ahead.
You are a politician representing to me, so listen to me. Don't be so intolerant. Listen to me first. I am a regular commuter of Metro Railway from Bapanahalli to Kapan Park.
Yes.
Okay. And therein, I see many laborers traveling through the metro. You are not seeing the problem that if Hindi is going to be removed, how they will commute through the metro. And the people employed over there are local people. And there is so much problem in conversation. So what's the big deal if Hindi is there? I don't know. And one thing, I remember Rajendra Prasad, he told, "Kos pe badle pani, char kos pe badle vani." This is the diversity of India. He has spoken in 2 languages.
Right.
And the second thing, if I heard a gentleman saying about this English, British language or something, I have read Bhagat Singh letters, and those were written in best of English that I have gone through those letters. I don't know what's the big fuss. It's happening, and I don't know why this discussion is happening. You open your arms and welcome people. I have been living in Pune, and therein also I find people boosting Marathi gene. I don't know. I don't understand. Therein I feel there's something that we are missing India. The diversity, we are missing it.
All right, let me also point out to you, thank you for calling in, that the 8th schedule of our constitution includes 22 languages as official languages of India. And these are all official languages. None of them are national languages. There is a difference between official and national. Danish Sait, go ahead. Danish Sait.
Faye, if I may add. Yeah, Faye. I think what needs to be primarily understood in this discussion is the fact that nobody has a problem with any language. It is just that Hindi somehow is the more privileged child that is sent over here and sent to every other part of the country. All I'm saying is, if you're really talking about representation and like how Mr. Yogesh said, this is the Desh Bhakti language, rightly, I think everybody in this country has been a part of that whole movement. I'm saying you can't take so many languages and put them up in the metro station. If that's the case, put every language and then tell me there's a place to park a train in there. You can't. So if English and Kannada are enough, now shops in Bangalore, I'm just giving an example, shops in Bangalore, every board is either written in English or it's written in Kannada. Now tell me if this average Hindi guy who travels, or whoever this Hindi reading person is, travels in the metro, how? Like I'm saying, he lands at the airport in Bengaluru and it is written in Kannada and in English. He'll manage there, but can't, like, how will he get to the metro
So I don't understand what you're saying. Danish Sait, are you saying that because he can't understand anything across the city, he should also not understand the metro? Is that your point? Or because he's struggling through everything in the city, he should also struggle through the metro?
Saying, yeah, no, he's not. Who told you he's struggling? Do you know he's struggling? Do I know he's struggling? Clearly, right?
No, I know he's struggling. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why, Danish. I think he's struggling because I've lived in other cities. I've lived in other cities that do not include a language I understand, and I struggle. I know what it means. I struggle. I don't understand why we can't be more inclusive. What is this battle? Why can't we? I'm saying if we look at the signage right now of Trinity Circle of MG Road, there's plenty of room to write 3 more languages.
I think Bengaluru
Let's write 3 more languages. Why not be more
in the
inclusive?
Country where people speak 3-4, every average Bengalurian speaks about 4 to 5 languages.
So write all those languages.
4 to 5 languages.
Write all those languages. Let's write Trinity in Telugu and
neighboring states.
Let's write neighboring in any other. I mean, we could argue that it's not.
Why one less language? Let's have.
We could argue that it's not written in Tulu and in Konkani, but they don't have scripts. But we all have different languages. No reason why we can't be inclusive. I don't understand that. I don't understand this sort of opposition. It doesn't in any way demean the beauty of Kannada as a language.
Why is it only in one place and not everywhere else? Then do it everywhere else, or don't do it at all.
By all means, let's do it everywhere else.
Why is it only Hindi?
I agree with you.
I'm saying, why is it only Hindi? No, why is it only Hindi? So is it, no, one second. So is it understood that everything above, like the south of India, is Hindi? No, they have different languages there. They do, right? So I'm saying, why is it only Hindi then? Then bring the other languages and put them down as well. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying, why is Hindi the chosen one? Because Hindi is not the national language.
Okay, so to answer your question, the reason why Hindi, to answer your question, all right, if you stop asking questions, I'll answer your question. The reason why Hindi is because
I would like to know
on last count,
right,
on last count, 53% of India's population spoke and understood Hindi or read Hindi. It is the lowest common denominator. More people understand Hindi than any other language in the country, including English. So it's inclusive. Right? For no other reason than it's inclusive. If we stop getting emotional about everything, we'll realize that it's simply inclusive.
And understood. Read and understood are two different things. Yeah, but spoke and understood is different from read and understood, right?
Let me just, now you're grasping at straws, Danish Sait. First language, second language. Now you're going to tell me that people can't read. So how will illiterate people navigate the metro? The point is, why leave out half the country? If they want to take the metro in Bangalore, why not?
They're everywhere, no.
Why not?
Suddenly, why is it that Hindi is being dumped and shoved down everyone's throat?
Who's shoving anything? I don't understand. I'm a proud Kannada-speaking citizen of the city of Bangalore. I don't understand this offence. I don't understand this forcing or this sense that people feel that it's being pushed on them. It's not being pushed on them.
I'm not offended
Kannada is written beautifully on the top, and then English and then Hindi. I don't understand the offence. Kuti Narayan is on the phone line from Bangalore. Mr. Narayan, go ahead, we can hear you. Mr. Narayan, you're going to have to mute your television in the background and then we'll be able to hear you. Go ahead, sir, we can hear you.
I'm absolutely amused by the discussion we've been having.
Yes.
Because what we are doing is we are having an academic discussion on the... Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, sir. Please go ahead. All right, we're going to come back to Mr. Kuti Narayan while I bring in the rest of the members of the panel. Nagaraj Yadav. Nagaraj Yadav, I know you had a point to make. Go ahead, Mr. Nagaraj Yadav. I'm still curious to know how the state government is going to react to the petition that is before it to take down the Hindi signage.
No, what I am trying to say is the BJP representative was telling that Hindi language can bring the country together, can be kept country united. I don't agree with this. This country is made with number of languages. This country is divided on the basis of language. Every state has got a priority to their state language, mother tongue as Kannada or Telugu or Tamil. Let us understand we live in a world in India as unity in diversity. Let us not divide that. We are, as a congressman, as a citizen of India, I respect the language Hindi also. But here what I am saying is that people are comfortable to use Kannada and English. That is more than enough. Why do they include a language, a Hindi language? There are very less number of people who speak Hindi in Bangalore.
Mr. Nagaraj Yadav, has the government of Karnataka done a census to understand how many people speak what language in the city of Bangalore? Have you done a survey?
Let me complete it, ma'am. Let me come.
Why are we only helping somebody who reads Hindi? Why not somebody who speaks Malayalam? You know how different Malayalam and Hindi
I represent the BMTC.
Now, imagine a Malayali walks into
Nobody demands to say that in a bus.
How is he going to manage?
In Hindi. Everybody demands in Kannada and English. I'm a chairman of BMTC today. I'm telling you officially.
Yeah, and I'm saying, if it's about
BMTC today, nobody came and asked me if we want it in Hindi.
Say Andhra.
This is the basic thing you should understand. Let us respect this local language and state language, Kannada as a priority. English is a common language, everybody to understand. What is wrong with it?
As simple as that.
And don't try to impose Hindi when there is no demand from the state. When there is no demand from the state, when the state is made on a federal system, why do you impose it?
Nagaraj Yadav and Danish Sait. One nimsha, sir. Nagaraj Yadav, Danish Sait. One nimsha.
The people of Bangalore.
I'm shocked and disappointed in the stand that both of you are taking. You are taking a divisive stand. You want to disclude, you want to leave people out of the city. You want to be unwelcoming to the people who come to the city. What if someone only comes to the city for 1 week?
No. We are
1 week, if someone is traveling, if there is a tourist from Kashmir who has come to the city for 1 week, how will they understand their way around if there's no Hindi?
Let me tell you,
Why do you want to be so unwelcoming? I don't understand you. I think you're being completely divisive for no reason. Absolutely, you've not been able to justify your stand at all. Shrikant is on the phone line from Bangalore. Shrikant, go ahead.
I am not.
Hello.
Yes, Shrikant, go ahead.
I am not a politician.
My question is for all panelists.
Yes.
See, one thing is, here they put up the signboard in Hindi to help North Indians, okay? To outside North Indians to come over to Bangalore to understand the language, that's also the Hindi what is put up. The problem is, what about South Indians? They go to North India. They put up in Kannada and Tamil to Telugu to understand. We do it. That's the thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Hello.
Okay. Do you want to, Amrita, do you want to respond to that?
Why not? What I'm trying to understand from all of this is, firstly, I think there's a political language and then there's a common man language. There's no need to fight over this issue. Having 2 more languages, adding 2 more languages would be more than a nice thing rather than just taking out one Hindi language. So why not, I agree with you, why not add Malayalam or the neighboring states' languages as well then instead of fighting?
Let's put 3 more. Let's put 4 more. Let's put 4 more. Actually, this is an interesting. Sri Rajshekharan, would you agree that given the fact that Tamil Nadu and Karnataka are so close to each other, that they should include each other's languages on their boards?
See, Faye, it is a duty of the government to take care of the interest of the citizens. If the people of Tamil Nadu want Hindi, or if they request that we need Kannada to be included in all the signboards, definitely the government of the day should act and do whatever is required. But when the people, the majority people, not the selective amnesia people who claim that this has to be imposed, I am talking about the majority opinion. When the majority citizens of any state are opposing something which is being imposed against their wish and will, it should be kept away. If the people, the majority people,
right? So would you say, Mr. Rajshekharan, that there should be some sort of poll that's conducted or some sort of census that's conducted or a survey to find out what people want?
No, see, we elect the representatives. Let me finish. We elect the representatives. There is a government of the day which is ruling the state of the respective states. If the government officially requests the central government that we need these languages to be given to us, to be written all over, fine. When the government itself is saying we don't require it, because the people, they reflect, the government of the day reflects the sentiments and the feelings of the people of the state. Right. So we should go by that instead of imposing. I am not against Hindi. See, let us be fair. If Hindi is requested by the people, let Hindi be, I mean, put everywhere. If the people
let me also bring in Purushottam Agarwal. Purushottam Agarwal, the funny thing is, I completely agree that if one second, Danish, one second. Purushottam Agarwal, I completely agree that if the people want to add a language, we must add a language. I find it amusing that we're talking about removing a language, because what good will it do to remove a language? It helps nobody to remove a language. Let's add more languages, Purushottam Agarwal.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree with you. We should add more languages, not only in Bangalore, but please.
No demand from the state government.
What is this? When you were speaking, I was quiet.
Why do they do that?
Sir, Mr.
No, Mr. Nagaraj Yadav, unless you can answer the question of whether or not the state government is going to remove the language.
Honorable Minister Sahab, let me finish, please. See, my point is that we must be as inclusive as possible in a country like India, where we have so many languages. And as you rightly pointed out, that none of the language is privileged as language. Hindi being the language which is understood by many in this country, by most of the people in this country, 53%. So that is fine. But the point is that these things are to be done in a manner which generates a kind of faith and trust, not in a way in which people feel kind of threatened. My concern with this kind of attitude is this. Secondly, so far as this argument is concerned that why not more South Indian languages in the cities of North like Delhi, where I do live, yes, most welcome. I would say that there should be Tamil and Kannada in signages in Delhi. Why not? Absolutely. In fact, the point is that North Indian schools in all states, whether ruled by this party or that party, should actively encourage from the school level the teaching and learning of at least one South Indian language.
Yes.
I mean, instead of doing this or that, it will be a good idea, it will be a real long-term step towards national integration, that if North Indian schools, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan or wherever, they start teaching people one of the languages like Tamil, Bangla, or Kannada or Marathi. The problem is this, that there is no constructive thinking. That is why I told you in the beginning that unfortunately, as a Hindi speaker citizen of this country, I feel sad that my language has become a kind of football in the political game. That's my problem. That's my pain. That nobody is actually bothered about Hindi. People are doing politics in the name of Hindi, both being supporting of Hindi or being opposed to Hindi. Nobody is actually bothered about the language, neither Hindi nor other languages. Otherwise, we would be talking in constructive terms. We would be talking of learning each other's languages. And in India, we are born polyglots. We are born multilingual people.
That's an excellent point.
We should be naturally inclined towards multiplicity.
Right, we're now getting phone calls from people outside of Bangalore. Somil is on the phone line from Mumbai, and I'm sure these questions will go to Nagaraj Yadav. Nagaraj Yadav, I'll come to you straight after this. Somil, go ahead.
I absolutely agree with sir.
Yeah, hi. I have been following this debate for a while now. I just don't understand, is Karnataka no more a state of India? I mean, why are we against a language which is spoken in India? Why is it called a North Indian language, a South Indian language? Why are people opposing it? I am from Mumbai. I am a Gujarati. I speak Hindi. I speak Marathi. This is absolutely same hooliganism that happened in Maharashtra by the Manse and the Shiv Sena beating people from other states. And this is the same thing. I feel so bad when I see young people fighting for this. This is so bad. You can include more languages. Indian language, more people speak Hindi. Come on, what is wrong with it? There are people who come there for work. Do you expect them, for example, if I have to move to Bangalore for work for a couple of months, do you expect me to learn Kannada? Or what about the labor who come in for short-time work? Do they learn English? Do they learn Kannada? They can't. Why can't you have Hindi?
Right.
What is wrong with it?
Nagaraj Yadav, respond to him, please.
Yeah, I would like to talk to him. There is an alternate language to Kannada. English is there. Any person wants to work in Bangalore is welcome to come. Any tourist is welcome to come. Most of the people understand English. That's why we are not against English. Hindi is also a language of the Indian one language. So, we respect Hindi also. We want Hindi speaking people to respect Kannada also. Because we believe in a federal system of this country. I only plead with the government of India not to make politics out of these language issues.
आप इस देश की भाषा का विरोध कर रहे हो और आपको सबसे पहली बात है आपको ये समझ में नहीं आ रहा है कि आपको विरोध करना चाहिए कि उसका साथ देना चाहिए। नागराज जी, आप पहले तय कर लीजिए। जवाहरलाल नेहरू जी ने कहा था कि हिंदी इस देश के माथे की बिंदी है। ये आप जिस पार्टी में है इसके जवाहरलाल नेहरू जी ने कहा था और आपको समझ में नहीं आ रहा है कि क्या करना चाहिए। या तो आप विरोध करिए या आप साथ में हो जाइए। आप बोलते मैं विरोध भी नहीं करता हूं, मैं साथ में भी नहीं हूं, तो आप है कहां पे?
Can always live in Bangalore, need not learn only Kannada. They also know English, but we
but Mr. Nagaraj Yadav, how many people speak English in this, read English in this country? You're being restrictive. If you're saying that someone should learn English, it's okay. They know English, they know Kannada, they don't know any other language. That's
not only for tourists. You look at the people. 1 crore 30 lakh people live in Bangalore. Why don't you cater for them first?
No, but we are catering. But there are 2 languages on the board already. There is Kannada also, there is English. A third language will include more people. I'm still not able to understand the problem.
Nobody is demanded. Nobody is asked. Why do you put without asking for it?
So your problem is that you were not asked.
People of Bangalore not against Hindi, but we are happy with Kannada. We are happy with Kannada as a priority language, and we are happy with an alternate language, English. Why do you say that?
So are you going to take down the Hindi signage? Mr. Nagaraj Yadav, will you take down the Hindi signage has the government decided to take down the Hindi signage from the metro? Is that the decision that you have made?
No, that I cannot comment. The government has taken a decision. The government of India should come forward to resolve an issue.
Government of
because
India
one thing
should come forward.
I want to tell you, the Hindi BJP.
कर्नाटक की सरकार इंडिया से बाहर है. आप यादव जी, कर्नाटक की सरकार इस देश से बाहर है. आप मुझे एक बात बताइए, यादव जी, आप मुझे एक बात बताइए. एक बार जवाहरलाल नेहरू जी ने कहा था, हिंदी है इस देश की बिंदी. तो क्या आप जवाहरलाल नेहरू जी का विरोध करते हो? आप जवाहरलाल नेहरू जी का विरोध करते हैं?
हमारा लीडर है. आप पहला आप पहला जवाहरलाल नेहरू को मान लिए. पहले
हाँ, मानते हैं ना सब, हम मानते हैं. आप नहीं मानते. आप विरोध कर रहे हैं हिंदी का. आप हिंदी का विरोध कर रहे हैं. आपको 1947 में जब लॉर्ड मैकाले यहाँ से चले गए, आपको उनके साथ चले जाना चाहिए था. आप इस तरह से अंग्रेजी का साथ दे रहे हैं. आप अंग्रेजों का साथ दे रहे हैं. आप देश का साथ नहीं दे रहे. आपको ऐसा नहीं करना चाहिए. आप हिंदी लैंग्वेज का विरोध मत करिए.
And create a problem to Bangalore. Bangalore is a peace-loving city. Allow it to be peace-loving, please.
All right. So since both politicians have had their say, it's very interesting that we still don't understand what the problem is with the third language
but
on
I'm
the
not
board.
only talking like a politician. I'm talking like an Indian. I'm talking like an Indian.
What is there in Indianness? What is there in Indianness? आप इंग्लिश का विरोध नहीं कर रहे, आप हिंदी का विरोध कर रहे हो. और ये आप इंडियन हो गए. ये आप इंडियन हो गए. आप इंडियन भाषा का, देशी भाषा का विरोध कर रहे हो. आप कह रहे हो कि अंग्रेजी को रखना चाहिए और हिंदी को हटाना चाहिए. ये क्या देशभक्ति है आपकी?
हम हिंदी को कभी भी नहीं विरोध किया है. हमारा ऊपर
देशभक्ति की बात नहीं है. ये
देशभक्ति की बात है.
इंसानियत की बात है.
भाषा का इंसानियत की बात है. इस देश की भाषा का, इस देश के स्वाभाविक भाषा का विरोध करना, ये देश का विरोध करना है. आप अंग्रेजी के सामने हिंदी का विरोध कर रहे हैं ना. आप अंग्रेजी के सामने हिंदी का विरोध कर रहे हो. आप अंग्रेजियत का साथ दे रहे हो. आप ब्रिटिशर्स का साथ दे रहे हो. 47 में चले गए अंग्रेज. 1947 में अंग्रेज चले गए. मैं आपको बताना चाहता हूँ यादव जी, आप
let me bring in Ved Prakash is on the phone line from Delhi. Ved Prakash, go ahead. Ved Prakash.
Yes, I'm on the phone line.
Okay, we seem to have lost Ved Prakash. Danish Sait, Alan is on air. Alan, go ahead. Alan.
Yeah, Faye, thank you. Faye, thank you.
All right, there seems to be a problem there as well. Danish Sait, go ahead. Danish Sait, I still don't understand why we need to take off the third language.
Faye.
Ma'am, I have to go for another channel. Can I go, please?
Okay, Faye, my point is...
One second, Nagaraj Yadav. I'm just about to close the show. I just want to hear what Danish Sait has to say. Go ahead. Go ahead, Danish.
Listen. 1 second. Okay. Faye, my point is, you want to keep Hindi there? If that's what this is about, okay, but bring in every other language that this country has for integration. Hindi should not be the privileged one, because if you said 53% people speak this language, there is still 47% which is left in this country. And now you mean to say if a Kerala it comes to Bangalore, we expect him to either know English, Hindi or Kannada.
Ma'am, can
say he doesn't know all three, then what? Then add everything else. If not, let's just respect the fact that there's a state language, there's English. And I don't think English has anything to do with nationalism or anti-nationalism or देश भक्ति or no भक्ति.
वो आपको नहीं समझ में आएगा दानिश साहब, वो आपको समझ में नहीं आएगा.
Disrespect with
वो आपको समझ में नहीं आएगा.
I speak Hindi as well as anybody else.
लाखों क्रांतिकारियों ने विरोध किया था अंग्रेजियत का.
क्यों?
फ्रीडम फाइटर थे, उन्होंने विरोध किया था. आपको नहीं समझ में आएगा.
So आपका मतलब है कि यहाँ
और सब पढ़ करके मुझे लगता है कि आपको ब्रिटेन ही चले जाना चाहिए.
कैसे नहीं समझ में आएगा?
आपको ब्रिटेन ही चले जाना चाहिए. आपको इस देश में रहने का कोई हक ही नहीं है. आप अंग्रेजी को एक्सेप्ट कर रहे हो और आप हिंदी का विरोध कर रहे हो. देश का विरोध कर रहे हो. ये देश के यूनियनिज्म का विरोध कर रहे हो.
How is this connected, Yogesh Verma? How is this connected to patriotism? I don't understand. It's not connected to patriotism. ये कहाँ
क्यों भगाया?
कैसे?
क्रांतिकारियों ने इस देश से अंग्रेजों को क्यों निकाला? जब अंग्रेज चले गए तो उनके मॉन्यूमेंट्स भी उस वक्त के राजनेताओं ने हटा दिए.
सॉरी मैम,
तो वो भाषा भी हटनी चाहिए. आखिर हम गुलामी से कैसे बाहर आएंगे? आखिर गुलामी से हम कैसे आएंगे?
योगेश वर्मा, आप मुंबई में रहते हो. विक्टोरिया टर्मिनस जो अभी छत्रपति शिवाजी हमारी जो सबसे बड़ी ट्रेन स्टेशन है, किसे बनाया?
हाँ ठीक है ना, हिंदुस्तानी लोगों ने बनाया, इंडियन आर्किटेक्ट्स ने बनाया, इंडियन आर्किटेक्ट्स ने बनाया, इंडियन आर्किटेक्ट्स ने बनाया, आर्किटेक्ट्स ने बनाया। मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ, सरकार अंग्रेजों की थी, लेकिन सारे
म्यूजियम जो अभी छत्रपति शिवाजी वास्तु संग्रहालय है, वो किसने बनाया?
सब लोग हिंदुस्तानी थे।
हमारी पूरी ड्रेनेज सिस्टम जो मुंबई में है अभी, साउथ मुंबई में, वो किसने बनाया?
सबको लेकर के आप चाहते हैं कि अंग्रेज इस देश में वापस आ जाए?
हमारी जो पार्लियामेंट का बिल्डिंग है, हमारे जो पार्लियामेंट का बिल्डिंग है, वो किसने बनाया? पार्लियामेंट का जो बिल्डिंग है, किसने बनाया?
हिंदी हमारे देश की लैंग्वेज है।
आप तो हिस्ट्री पढ़ के नहीं आते, यही तो प्रॉब्लम।
मैं तो हिस्ट्री पढ़कर आता हूँ, मैं स्टूडेंट रहा हूँ, मैं हिस्ट्री। आप
किताब लेके आ जाइए,
आप इन सब बातों से क्रांतिकारियों का अपमान नहीं कर सकते। आप इस देश में हिंदी का विरोध कर रहे हैं, इस देश की लैंग्वेज का विरोध कर रहे हैं, और उसके सामने आप वीटी स्टेशन की बातें हो रही है, या दानिश साहब जो है वो क्या नाम है, कन्नड़ा के बात करते हुए और हिंदी का विरोध कर रहे हैं और अंग्रेजी को रहने दे रहे हैं। मैं यहाँ पर किसी भी इस देश की भाषा का विरोध करने नहीं आया हूँ। मैं इस देश में अंग्रेजी के सामने हिंदी का अपमान करने वाली जो मेंटालिटी है, मैं उसका विरोध करने आया हूँ।
Right, we've run out of time. We've run out of time. 1 second, Mr. Verma, we've run out of time, unfortunately. Just to put it on record, the architect of the Chhatrapati Shivaji terminus in Mumbai was a gentleman called Frederick William Stevens. Just to put it on record, since we didn't know. I just want to point this out. Look at how much yelling and screaming happened over languages because they're being used as instruments of divide. They're being used to divide us. We're being divided based on our religion. We're being divided based on our skin color, people who are dark, people who are fair. We're being divided based on north and south. We're being divided based on our languages. Why? We're all one country. Wouldn't it just be easier if we made life easier for each other? Why do we have to find new ways to split this country into smaller and smaller and smaller pieces? Even within Karnataka, there's Konkani, there's the Kodava language, there's Thulu. There are people who speak all kinds of languages. If we don't embrace each other, make life easier for each other, how are we ever going to get any work done? And my stand on this is, put 20 languages on the board. Put 20 languages on the board. Make it as easy as possible for someone in one part of the country to travel in the other part of the country. Let's be as inclusive as possible. Let's be as welcoming as possible. Remember, we are a country that believes that the guest is God. Atiti Devo Bhava. We're the country that believes that every one of us is equal in front of the law. We have a constitution that included 22 languages along with Hindi and English. Think of the people who wrote that constitution and what they had in mind when they designed this country. Let's not allow people who whip up our emotion for no good reason to get the better of us. We're one country. Let's actually treat each other like the brothers and sisters that we truly are. Thanks for watching.